This poorly played brass instrument of indeterminate variety, which nonetheless emits the sound of a herald trumpet, most certainly indicates that the individual of our upcoming focus has nearly arrived before us. This individual is one that I often refer to affectionately as a sizable cut of pork, typically associated with celebrations, feasts, and mealtimes around the holidays.
I would like to inform you that I am known by many titles, including one associated with an occurrence of frozen precipitation occurring on the 25th of December, and one which simply refers to this type of precipitation itself. In addition to the two aforementioned titles, I am also referred to by some as my masculine prefix, which indicates my marital status, followed by the term for a large body of dihydrogen monoxide molecules collected gradually in a conical shape, pointed in the direction of gravity, typically formed in periods of low temperatures, which still allow frozen H2O to reach its liquid state for short periods of time due to the heat of the sun. Additionally, I am known by this same masculine prefix followed by a short phrase which refers to a specific measurement of molecular energy, said measurement having reached into the negatives and having surpassed at least 10 units on this scale. Importantly, however, my closest and most beloved compatriots refer to me by my most well-established title, one which names me as a penny-pinching scoundrel who is very closely affiliated with frozen precipitation that falls from the sky during winter months outside of tropical climates, and periodically, but rarely in the subtropics such as northern Florida, due in part to this and to my substantial set of unusual abilities related to this moniker. Anything that I come into contact with, either by intentional or unintentional physical interaction, is quickly to, yet again, this same frozen precipitation which I am so very fond of, a significantly larger quantity than is required, expected, or desired by any individual, including myself. I laugh now not because I am amused, but because I have utterly no intention of aiding the stupid and impetuous children which have appeared before me seemingly for the sole purpose of causing me great discomfort and displeasure, rotating in quick and aggressive circles by taking advantage of both my athletic abilities and the low coefficient of friction on surfaces composed of frozen water, while making a sound which is meant to imitate that which is made by a human individual whose metabolism is reacting to the negative effects of exposure to a low temperature environment, and I am doing so in order to mock present company who is unaccustomed to such surroundings due to the contrast with my own lack of discomfort.
You have already forgotten. The individual which has appeared before you is referred to by several titles. We will proceed to list them off again for your immediate convenience. First, he is known by the common colloquial term which refers to the incidence of frozen precipitation on the 25th of December, an event which is fondly enjoyed by members of the public. Second, he is known simply as his masculine title prefix, and the term for said frozen precipitation
Companions say is true, and to such a degree that I feel it absolutely necessary to loudly acknowledge this at risk of interrupting their explanation.
He is known by the same masculine title followed by the term for frozen water formed into a conical shape due to the force of gravity and the surface cohesion of liquid water on frozen water. Fourth, he is associated with the phenomenon wherein the local atmospheric temperature drops below the level of 10 units in the negative on or any scale, with each unit representing a fractional increase or decrease between the known lower limit of 0, which is set as the freezing temperature of a brine solution, and the known upper limit of 96 degrees, which is set as the average human body temperature.
What but very attractive companions have failed to mention, and I will reiterate myself, is that only those within my deepest inner circle know me by a title which conveys frozen precipitation and a tendency to hoard money rather than spend it. One of my most advantageous abilities is that which allows me to engulf any substantive object within my palms, quickly converting it on a particular level into this frozen precipitation which much of my nomenclature is centered around. Unfortunately for the small, insignificant and disgusting creature before me, I have chosen to demonstrate this ability in a way which has caused harm not only to his personal property, but to his sense of dignity.
Is of a significantly larger quantity than is required, expected, or desired by any individual, including himself.
Due mostly in part to my affiliation with frozen precipitation and other concepts regarding objects with low thermal energy, it would be very upsetting to me to be exposed to an environment wherein the standard atmospheric temperature, as measured in Fahrenheit, exceeds a value of 40 units above the zero level, which represents the point at which a brine solution with constant ratios of chloride salts, water, and ice freezes at sea level. This is because this level of thermal energy is not sufficiently low to cause the physical structure of bodies of H20 molecules to crystallize due to the slowing of movement on a molecular level. Regarding restriction, I have a selection of local atmospheric temperatures which I claim to prefer. This list includes 30 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level, 20 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level, 10 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level, and 5 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level. My reasoning behind each of these choices is primarily that each of these temperature levels is sufficient to permit the slowing of water particles to the point at which they can form into a crystalline structure. Immense and immeasurable mental and physical excitement, I will now begin to spread the sticky white substance over my body and rotate at a high velocity, much to the disgust and chagrin of all who are unfortunate enough to watch this heinous and vile act. This, however, is not the limit of my depravity, as I will now begin to repeat the noise which I have at a previous point in this discussion for the sole and diabolical purpose of irritating the children which have come to me with good intentions, that I nonetheless have no plans to assist or help in any way.
For the third and final time, this individual's preferred titles are listed as follows: a masculine title followed by the name of the 1954 film directed by Michael Curtis depicting a Caucasian family enjoying their holiday season, the same masculine title followed by the term for frozen precipitation, a cone structure formed out of frozen water molecules, typically formed following frozen precipitation in winter months, the shortened term referring to 10 units below zero on the scale of thermal energy invented by Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit in 1724, widely popularized due to its use in his most popular invention, the glass mercury thermometer.
To reiterate what I have established earlier, and to bring a timely end to this abysmal and forsaken celebration of the concept of low levels of thermal energy, I must inform you for the final time that only the closest, most trusted and beloved members of the community which I consider myself a part of know me by a title which refers both to my penny-pinching nature and frozen precipitation which typically falls from the sky and accumulates at varying levels, creating a substantial difference in both the appearance and practical traversability of the landscape. Due to my close association and formation of my identity centered around this concept, as well as my substantial level of magical expertise, any object living or otherwise that comes into contact with the flesh of my hands for any duration is converted into that substance at an alarming rate. Excessive quantity. Now that my lengthy and spiteful introduction has been completed, I would like to inquire, the dearest wife of St. Nicholas, as to his well-being and current state of operation. This is both because I presume that your visitation is in reference to recent events regarding this individual, and that I find you extremely attractive and may wish to perform dangerous and erotic acts with you at a later time.
Here where my husband and lover is currently in a state of distress due to the contraction of a disease from which I am not certain he will recover. He is presently hospitalized and his medical condition is degrading rapidly. Luckily I am endowed with the funding and resources necessary to continue exposing him to the most advanced procedures available to modern science.
Condolences to your and his great misfortune. It is certainly challenging to have to go through this with someone you have been together with for so long. Had he been clever enough to seek my aid in this matter, I would have forced him to contract a disease of a similar nature that shares all of the traits of a common cold, but has overall beneficial effects rather than harmful ones.
What?